Good evening and welcome. This is a regular scheduled reorganizational business meeting and public hearing meeting of Valencia County Commission for January the 8th, 2025. First order of business be the Pledge of Allegiance. Ryan, would you please lead us? The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Commissioners, got the agenda before us. Are there any questions or changes by fellow commissioners? There's none. Staff? No. There being none, is there a recommendation to approve the agenda as presented this evening?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. It's approved. We have two sets of minutes. December 17th, 2024 county manager interviews and December 18th, 2024 public hearing business meeting. Are there any changes to those minutes by fellow commissioners? Staff? That being said, is there a motion to approve the minutes for both meetings as presented this evening?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, so stand approved. Okay, public comment. Did we have any this evening, Jonathan?
Mr. Chair, we had one name, but he's speaking on the public hearing item later.
Okay,
So I let him know that's when he'll be speaking tonight.
very good. Thank you for that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with our action items. This is the reorganizational part of our meeting this evening. First one is item number 6, consider of a resolution. Sorry about that, Lisa.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair,
Yes,
you skipped number 5.
thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry about that. I skipped number 5. Thank you for the correction there. Discussion items, commissioners, is there anything you wish to bring to the table this evening? Staff?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year. Welcome to the new year and look forward to working with y'all.
Okay, under that also, I have a report prepared for our last NACO conference. This meeting is a little bit lengthy, so I have it prepared. I'll present that to you guys at our next meeting. Okay, now we'll move on to our action items. Item number 6, consideration of a resolution. Mike, all of these have 2024 dates, so there'll be 2025 resolutions, correct? The resolutions have a 2024 date. They should be 2025. Is that correct? Okay, as long as you got it correct. Commissioner Bazell got that. Okay, first one is going to be appointment of chairpersons. At this time, I'll open up the floor for nominations for chairman.
Mr. Chair, I would like to nominate yourself, Commissioner Seiss, with chair.
Good. Is there a second? Okay, got a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations for chairman of the Valencia County Commission this evening? Any other nominations for chairman? Okay, there be none. We'll go ahead and seize nominations. I have a motion and a second for me to remain as chair. I'll accept that nomination and call it to a vote. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I will abstain. It's me, but it does pass. I thank all of you guys for nominating me and voting for me. I'll do my best to continue to represent you in a fair way and also be as open and as I can be and keep you guys posted with everything that I possibly can. So thank you guys. At this time, I'll open up the floor for nominations for vice chair. I'd like to go ahead and make a nomination for vice chair for Commissioner Richardson. I think that since he has been serving as vice chair, he has proven himself to me that he is made himself available at the times that I could not be here, and I think he's very qualified to hold that position. So I will go ahead and make that nomination. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? With that said, nominations will cease for vice chair, and I will call it to a vote. Vote for Commissioner Richardson to be vice chairman of the commission for year 2025. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
I'll abstain.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That stands approved. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-01.
Okay, item number 7, consideration of a resolution, parliamentary procedures and Robert's Rules of Order. Mr. Nance, or I'm sorry, Mr. Payo. I'm used to calling him Mr. Nance. Do you want to?
Mr.
Appreciate that.
Chairman, yes, I look
Thank-
forward to working you through all these resolutions, the organizational resolutions today. So the first one you have before you, or the second one you have before you, is this parliamentary procedures and Robert's Rules of Order. This adopts Robert's Rules of Order with certain modification. Those modifications are outlined on the second page, in the bottom of the first page. And that's that, and most importantly among those are that the chair has the same voting rights as any other member, given that he's elected by his district, just as every other member of the board is. That the chair doesn't have any additional administrative, procedural, contractual, or other authority different than any other members of the board. That should the chair vacate the office of the chairmanship, the vice chairmanship shall serve the remainder of the term. That members of the board are required to obtain the floor, and then any and all motions need to have a second, with the exception of adjournment. That items appearing on the agenda shall be those necessary for the proper consideration and management of county business. That any member of the board can request that any item be placed on the agenda for board's consideration. And that the chair or his designee shall approve final agendas for publication. And I stand for any questions the board might have regarding this resolution.
Any questions? Appears there's none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion or the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-02.
Okay, item 9, consideration of a resolution, Open Meetings Act. Mr. Pato?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this resolution establishes the procedures and rules for the public's participation in our county commission meetings. And it establishes that number one, that we provide for a 3-minute comment period. We're allowed to adopt reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, but we can't restrict viewpoint based on, or restrict speech based on viewpoint. So irrespective of whether it's a Nazi party member that's up here talking for 3 minutes or a Boy Scout, we give them the 3 minutes opportunity to speak and address the board. You can increase or decrease that time as you'd like. And this resolution also establishes that we will not tolerate threatening and abusive comments that disrupt the meeting of the board. And so it sets forth our expectations of the public as they participate in our meetings. And I stand for any questions the board might have regarding the resolution.
Commissioners, any questions of Mr. Pato? There be none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion or the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it is approved.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-03.
Okay, item 10, consideration of a resolution.
Nine.
Oh. We did the open meetings act, didn't we?
No, we have not yet.
Oh,
for the
okay, I'm
record.
sorry. Consideration of resolution, open meetings act. Sorry about that, guys.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, every year this board is required to consider an open meetings resolution to determine annually what sort of notice is required for its meetings. The law sets a minimum of 72 hours notice for regular county commission meetings, emergency meetings, which are those meetings that address, a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the public, can be had on lesser notice, up to 24 hours. The chairman can call a special meeting of the board. A majority of the members of the board can also call a special meeting of the board. And for the purposes of this resolution, notice is adequate if it's posted on the county's website, if it's posted at the Valencia County Administration Office and all Valencia County operated senior centers, and staff is requested to provide copy of the notice to the news bulletin, but it's not deficient for the purposes of notice if it's not published in the news bulletin. And I stand for any questions. Oh, one final issue is, or one final matter is, this resolution permits any member of this board to participate in meetings of the Board of County Commissioners by means of conference telephone if necessary.
Any
I stand-
questions, Mr. Peo? Appears there's none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve. Second.
A motion and second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? None. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-04.
Okay, item 10, consideration of a resolution, inspection of public records.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, there's another resolution this board considers annually and we're required to consider annually by the state law, by the Inspection of Public Records Act. Pursuant to this resolution, we're designating the county manager as a county's record custodian for receiving requests to access public records. This resolution also establishes the fees for and the procedure for accessing public records. And I stand for any questions the board might have.
Questions of Mr. Peo, commissioners? There be none. Is there a recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be done. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-05.
There you go. Okay, item 11, consideration of a resolution, signature authority on checks.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, section 445-4 requires that where money is paid by check, the check has to be signed by the chairman of the board or his designee and the county treasurer. This resolution has the board delegating to the chair the authority to approve checks for the county commission.
Any questions of Mr. Peta? There be none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be done. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-06.
Okay, item 12, consideration of a resolution, establish depositories.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this resolution, as outlined in the resolution, establishes the depositories for receipt of county funds. Specifically, this resolution authorizes Valencia County funds to be, and investments to be made at U.S. Bank located in Valencia County, BMO located in Valencia County, United Business Bank located in Valencia County, Bank of Albuquerque located in Valencia County, New Mexico Bank of Trust located in Valencia County, Wells Fargo located in Valencia County, and the New Mexico Finance Authority and their state treasurer in conformance with the requirements of state statutes. And I stand for any questions of the board.
Any questions of Mr. Peta? There be none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, is approved.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-07.
Okay, item 13, consideration of a resolution, delegation of authority to county manager and recognition that the county manager is a lawful custodian of county buildings, facilities, and property for year 2025.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is informally known as the County Manager Authority Resolution, and this is the resolution by which you authorize the county manager to act within the authority expressly delegated by the board. Statutorily, this board is authorized to hire a county manager to serve as a personnel officer, to conduct the business of the county, to serve as a fiscal director, budget officer, property custodian. This resolution proposes to establish the county manager's authority at $10,000. And I stand for any questions of the board.
Any questions of Mr. Pato?
Mr. Chair, I have a
Please.
question. We had discussed some time back, I know this is it's a lower limit than what Manager Monette had, that we, in the future, could still change this if we decide to during the year, correct?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Richardson, that is correct. And I would actually encourage a consideration of revision to the subsection 5, the authority to enter into legal settlement agreements and or pay insurance deductibles. Our insurance deductibles are $50,000, so it wouldn't make sense to establish that at $10,000. So I'd request the board consider in approving this resolution, modifying that provision relating to the paying the insurance deductibles up to $50,000. And item 5.
Is there anything else in this resolution you'd like to amend? You think? we need
Mr.
to-
Chairman,
that-
it's completely within the board's discretion how much authority you want to provide.
Right.
And, and certainly even the $10,000 the funds have to be expended in accordance with the procurement code, in accordance with the county's procurement regulations. So that amount is completely within your discretion, as is the authority to pay the insurance deductibles. I'm just thinking as a pragmatic matter, when he receives a bill in from the insurance company, we want to make sure we get that check cut out to them for the deductible pretty quickly. So for that reason, I would ask that be increased to $50,000.
Okay. Any further questions, Mr. Pato? Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve with the amendment of the $50,000 deductible for insurances, subsection 5. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be done. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, is approved as amended.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-08.
Okay, item 14, consideration of a resolution establishing employee work hours and paid holidays for year 2025. Mr. Pato.
Mr. Chairman, the New Mexico Constitution, Article 20, Section 19 requires that, or provides that 8 hours shall constitute a day's work in all cases of employment by and on behalf of the state or any county or municipality thereof. Additionally, Section 10.1 of the county's personnel policy requires that this board consider at either the last meeting in December or the first meeting in January, the holidays that it's going to authorize for the year. This resolution establishes working hours between Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week with 2 15-minute breaks every 4 hours, 1 hour for lunch. It also establishes the holidays, and I might allow the manager to speak more to the holidays that have been proposed.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is just continuation of the holidays that we've recognized in the past several years. I think the only exception is Juneteenth. And that's all for you to decide whether you want to consider or not. But we haven't considered that in the past.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions? Not, is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the holidays as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. It is approved.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-09.
Item number 15, consideration of a resolution. It's appointments of boards and committees. I'm going to turn this over to Manager Aragon. I know you've put a packet together for this. You wish to go ahead and take over on this?
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is always the longest part of the process of the first meeting of the year. This is where you all decide to appoint your planning and zoning commissions, sit on boards such as the Mid-Region Council of Governments, the Executive Board of the Mr. Cog, Water Resources Board, Metropolitan Transportation Board, Transportation Coordinating Committee, Freight Logistics Committee, Rio Metro Transit District Board, Workforce Connection CEO Board, as well as the New Mexico Counties Board, New Mexico Multi-Line Insurance Pool Board, Regional Dispatch Board, Valencia County Older American Program Advisory Committee, and the Valencia County Emergency Service EMS Board, as well as the newly created in the past couple years, or in the past year, Opioid Remediation Collaborative. So what we did is we took the last year's appointments and made recommendations to this list, just kind of going off of what was their last year, as well as some interest for some positions that have vacated, as well as moving the manager from Mr. Monette, all his seats that he served on, to me. And those include the Multi-Line Insurance Pool Board, as well as the Opioid Remediation Collaborative and the Regional Dispatch Board. So there's, we'd probably like to at least hear y'all appoint your Planning and Zoning Board members, but the rest of them are there on the list if you'd like to take a look at them. And if you'd like, you can approve it all based on these recommendations.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and, you guys ready to appoint your P and Z commissioner? Okay, let's see, District 1 would be me. I'll reappoint Mark Aguilar. He's willing to continue to serve, so that would be my recommendation. District 2.
I will reappoint Butch Freeman as long as he'll continue to do it.
Okay. District 3.
I will reappoint Sue Moran.
4.
Philip Sublett.
Okay, and District 5.
Joey Galino.
Okay, very good.
And Mr. Chair, if you'd like me to go through the names on the rest of the list, I'm more than happy to do that as well.
That'll be fine. If you'll have it for the record, please.
Sure. So for the Mid-Region Council of Governments, for the representatives, we have Morris Sparkman and Gerard Seiss. On the executive board of the Mid-Region Council of Governments, we have Morris Sparkman. On the Water Resources Board, the Water Resources Board serves as an advisory board to the Mr. Cog Board of Directors. It's a multi-governmental forum to coordinate water programs, conduct regional water planning, and help resolve water management problems at a local, regional, and state government levels. We have on that as the representative Troy Richardson and the alternate Joseph Bazell. Metropolitan Transportation Board is also an advisory board to Mr. Cog, Board of Directors. On that, we have Lena Benavides as the representative and Hedemia Silva as the alternate. Transportation Coordinating Committee, also a advisory board to Mr. Cog. We have Lena Benavides as the representative, Gerard Seiss as the alternate. Freight Logistics Committee serves as a forum for matters concerning the intermodal movement of goods and freight within and through Mr. Cog region. For the representative on that, we have Dante Berry and the alternate Troy Richardson. Rio Metro Regional Transit District Board, also an advisory board. On that, representative is Joseph Bazell. The alternate is Orlando Montoya. Workforce Connection CEO Board has to do with human resources issues. On that, we have a representative, Orlando Montoya, and alternate Morris Sparkman. New Mexico County's board is a board that you all vote on. All the elected officials in the county vote on every 2 years. Gerard Seiss has been elected to that, I believe, last year, so he will continue on that seat as the representative. New Mexico Multi-Line Insurance Pool Board is also through New Mexico counties, has to do with county insurance. I will be the representative for that and the alternate Gerard Seiss. Regional Dispatch Board goes through our VREC. Our representatives are Denise Vigil, Sheriff Denise Vigil, and Manager Aragon. The alternates are Under Sheriff Noah and Chief Matt Prop. On the Valencia County Older American Program, we changed that from a representative of the Board of County Commissioners several years back. It's now just a representative of Valencia County, and that is Melissa Jaramillo. She is the director of that program. And I've asked her to include, and you'll have them in front of you, the meeting dates. Oh, she's got them here. And then I've asked her to do a quarterly report as well as far as what happens at those meetings. But the list of dates is if the meeting's in your district or something like that, and you're interested in attending, that way you know when it's happening. At the moment, we do not have an alternate for that board, but Melissa attends them all. So representatives on that board for the Fred Luna Center, we have Wayne Dingman, and the alternate is Jason Duran. For the Meadow Lake Senior Center, representative is Norbert Bob Gostica, and the alternate is Ronald Witt. For Del Rio Senior Center, we have Claudine Montano as the representative, and Jerry Martinez as the alternate. For Belen Senior Center, we have Sharon Lee Smith as the representative, and the alternate is Jennifer Jaramillo. And for Bosque Farms representative, we have Tony Garcia, and the alternate is Rose Poitras. Getting down towards the end, we have the Valencia County Emergency Services. The primary seat on that is Chief Prop, and the alternate is John Grassman. He's the Assistant EMS Chief. And there's also a primary from AMR, which is Ruby Boyd, and Valencia County Medical Director, Whitney Barrett. And then finally rounding it out is the Opioid Remediation Collaborative, newly formed board last year. And I am going to be serving as the representative on that board. I'm sorry. There's one last one, and this one's a really great board. The Valencia County Juvenile Justice Board. We have the chair is Victoria Flores. From YDI, Vice Chair Los Lunas PD Cassandra Kenyuk. Representative Manager Aragon. Representative Juvenile Probation Esteban Gallegos. Representative Isleta Pueblo Kaylee Hohola. VC Warden is Representative Randy Gutierrez. Representative from the 13th Judicial Court Judge Alan Smith. Representative from Los Lunas Schools Camille Griego. Representative Belen Schools Pauline Vallejos. Nobody from Magistrate Court at the moment, or another one from Los Lunas Schools. From Valencia County Government, Dante Berry, and several youth, Philip Montano, Colton Robinson, Noah Sierra, Josiah Vallejos, Jacob Arin, and Isabella Medina, and those are all representatives as well. So that is the report you are presented and for your consideration.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, commissioners, a lot of information there. Is there anybody that's not comfortable with their current appointment or with where they sit on these boards or committees? Seems like everybody is okay with that. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion or the second? There be none, Commissioner Rich, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bezel, your vote? Yes. Commissioner Berry, your vote? Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, they are approved.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-10.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with our public hearing item at this time. It's an appeal of the Community Development Planning and Zoning Department's preliminary determination that a traffic impact study will be required for the development of a Dollar General store located at northeast corner of Manzano Expressway in Camino de Canada. If there's anybody that's going to give any testimony on this public hearing, I ask that you stand now to be sworn in by our clerk, please.
You swear or affirm that this testimony you'll give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of the law, so help you God?
Yes. Ms. Jaramillo?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm going to recuse myself from this discussion.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Commission. Today I stand before you on an appeal for Community Development, Planning and Zoning Department's preliminary determination that a traffic impact study will be required for the development of a Dollar General store located on the northeast corner of Manzano Expressway and Camino del Canada. Legal description, subdivision, Rio del Oro, lot parcel A, unit 46S, 19T, 6N, R, 3E, 51.19 acres, plat J 322, located on the corner of Manzano Expressway and North Rio del Oro Loop, UPC 1013-034-12-0050, zoned Community Commercial District 2. This is appeal number 2025-01. And I also have Lena Benavides with me to give a little bit of summary and background on the case.
Well, she'll be coming up shortly. Any
Okay.
questions of Ms. Jaramillo at this time? No? Do we have the applicant in the audience? Yeah. Please go ahead and step up and state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you, Ms. Jaramillo.
Thank you, Chair Sias, members of the commission. My name is Joseph Carnes. I'm an attorney with Summer Carnes and Associates, 125 Lincoln, Suite 221, Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I'm here representing the applicant and appellant, 12 Oaks Development. So would you like me to give my presentation? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we're here tonight in a last-ditch effort to save this project, this commercial project, which is a permitted use as of right in the commercial zone. This property was recently rezoned by this commission, and we'd like to move forward with it. We're asking you tonight to grant the appeal and allow the project to move forward pursuant to an administrative approval to be issued by staff without requiring further traffic impact analysis of the commercial project. Initially, it's important that you recognize the relationship between my client 12 Oaks Development, the applicant, and Dollar General. 12 Oaks is a developer. They enter into contracts with Dollar General to purchase and build, go through the entitlement process and build stores that are leased to Dollar General, a national corporation. And so as part of that contracting process, 12 Oaks is subject to requirements imposed by Dollar General and agreed upon by the parties, particularly an opening date. In this case, the store needs to open by June of this year. Otherwise, Dollar General will not allow it to go forward. 12 Oaks entered into the contract last summer and submitted their application to Valencia County last September 12th, along with full engineered plans, as they have on stores. I worked with them on about 25 stores throughout the state of New Mexico, including one here in Valencia County that's getting ready to open in the near future. So that was in September. Typically, it takes for an administrative approval a couple of months, about 2 months or so to get through the process. In this case, on October 17th, Ms. Jaramillo sent an email that I'll read to you. Came to my client and said, after review, it has been suggested a traffic impact study be done, if it is not already, due to the store is on the corner of Manzano Expressway and Camino La Cañada, and the entrance will be on the southern side, Camino La Cañada. That email says we're going to require a traffic impact analysis because the property is adjacent to 2 streets. Well, we all know that any kind of development, particularly commercial development, needs to be on a street. It needs access for cars to enter and exit the property. So under this standard, if you will, every single commercial development in the county would require a traffic impact analysis. Common sense and reality and history shows that's simply not the case. And it raises the specter of a legal term that I need to throw at you: arbitrary and capricious. Public decisions need to be supported by reason. The definition of arbitrary and capricious is an action or decision that is unreasonable, willful, and lacks a rational basis or explanation. What is needed is a logical connection between the facts and the decision. And that email contains neither. It just says, your property is on a street, therefore you need to do a traffic impact analysis. That's simply not the case. And after that October 17th email, my client engaged in discussions with staff that went on up through about Thanksgiving, when I got a call from my client saying, hey, we're not getting anywhere. We have deadlines to meet to move this project forward, and what do we do here? So they came to me, said, let's look at this. What do we do? I said, let's get a hold of a traffic engineer. Maury Walker is a traffic engineer who's been working in northern New Mexico mostly for over 30 years. He's done traffic impact analysis all over the state. And we called him right around Thanksgiving time, and he was good enough to write a letter that's in your packet. It's part of the appeal. And he said, the Dollar General will generate 41 trips in the PM peak hour. That's how traffic engineers analyze traffic generated by a project. You look at kind of the worst case scenario. You have an AM morning peak hour and a PM peak hour. He said this project will generate 41 trips in the afternoon peak hour. According to New Mexico Department of Transportation standards, a traffic impact analysis will not be required for a development less than 100 trips in either the AM or PM peak periods. Because this project will generate less than half of that amount of traffic, a traffic impact analysis is simply not warranted pursuant to standard traffic engineering principles. Mr. Walker put his stamp on that letter, submitted it in writing as part of the appeal. We hope that that would resolve the matter and allow this project to move forward based on the standards and facts that are in existence. Next, on December 5th, the day after we sent the letter, Ms. Jaramillo sent her own letter raising a different issue. Her December 5th letter said, in pertinent part, specifically, and despite consideration of your expert's opinion that a traffic impact study should not be required, the county's Planning and Zoning Department deems a traffic impact study necessary for final plan approval because of public safety concerns in light of the 3 schools in the vicinity of the development and because of increased development in the area. So that's a different reason. First, it was you're next to a street, you need to do a traffic analysis. Now it was there are some schools in the area. Well, I was out there this afternoon. The elementary school that's just to the east of the project site has a driveway into it and a roundabout where kids get dropped off. And what we understood was sometimes traffic backs out onto Camino La Cañada during the pickup time or drop-off time for the school. That's not a problem that this commercial project can even fix. How a traffic impact analysis would lead to a solution to that problem, again, there's no link between that fact and the requirement of a traffic impact analysis. So my client again came to me, what do we do? The start of December, we got that letter. We spoke with staff and with the county attorney and said, in an effort to save this project, we filed an appeal. And I greatly appreciate the commission considering this appeal during your reorganization meeting. I know it's a busy time of year, so thank you for doing that. We attempted to have the appeal heard before Christmas time, but we all know that the holidays is a busy time, so we're thankful to be here tonight. We're trying to save this project. It's a timing issue. And if we can't move forward, this project's simply not going to happen. So in my appeal letter, which you've had a chance to review, I know, I point out that there is no objective standard set forth in your code, the county code, as to when to require a traffic impact analysis. That's in contrast to the New Mexico Department of Transportation. They do have an objective standard. You don't waste time, money, and effort studying something that has de minimis impacts, that has impacts that are not going to translate into, in this case, off-site roadway improvements. Doesn't make sense. That's why the Department of Transportation adopted that standard. And I would encourage the county, because it makes it difficult when when staff doesn't have an objective standard to apply, they don't have guidance. And that's what's happened here. And so I point that out in the appeal letter. We have 41 trips during the peak hour. That's less than half of the amount that the DOT would consider for even studying carrying out a traffic impact analysis. Here, there's no basis for requiring that kind of analysis. And I'll point out that the Dollar General that's getting ready to open at El Cerro Loop and La Ladera Road, the county did not require a traffic impact analysis for that project, even though that area is a more developed area than this project site. That was only, I don't know how long ago exactly it was, but the store is getting ready to open. I think it was within the last year or so that the application was submitted. So this application, I don't know why, is being treated differently. So as we get closer to the hearing, just yesterday, I got a call from my client saying that he had a conversation with Ms. Jaramillo and the Public Works Director, and I'll just summarize. He had planned to be here tonight. He's in Tennessee. He was going to fly out today, but unfortunately they had 6 inches of snow yesterday, so he apologizes, couldn't make it, but he sent me an email saying after speaking with Ms. Jaramillo just called and said, after speaking with their county engineers, They now agree that a full TIA does not make sense. However, she still would like to see a turn lane assessment instead of a traffic impact analysis, and would like to see a turn lane installed onto our site entrance off of the side street Camino La Cañada. So this is a third reason for doing more study. First, it was you're next to a public street, next to was school issues, and now it's we want a turn lane. That is the height of arbitrary and capricious decision making. There's no basis for a turn lane. Traffic engineers don't act in an arbitrary and capricious manner. They operate based on standards and professional engineering analysis. I spoke with Mr. Walker this morning, and he said, without carrying out a full analysis, in his expert opinion, it would take 300 or 400 trips during the peak hour to warrant construction of a left turn lane to go into a project site. That's some 10 times the amount of traffic generated by this project. So here we are. We're trying to save this project. We're not going to litigate. What's going to happen is the decision maker on the contract is Dollar General. My client is going to have a conversation with them tomorrow. And if we're forced to do a traffic impact analysis, it would take a month or more to get that lined up for the engineer to carry out the necessary work. I've been through these. That's part of what I do as well as a land use lawyer. It would kill the project. That's why we're here before you tonight. So on the one hand, on staff's hand, you have no code standard, no objective standard, no facts warranting further analysis, 3 different non-substantive reasons for carrying out traffic impact analysis, and that adds up to arbitrary and capricious decision making. It's not based on reason. On the other hand, the applicant side, we have Maury Walker, a registered licensed traffic engineer who submitted a written letter. We have the New Mexico Department of Transportation standard. That's an objective standard. This project will generate less than half the amount of traffic to even be studied. We all know Dollar General stores, they're not destinations. They're typically pass-bys. That's why they put them on main streets. When people are going someplace, they stop by. It's not a destination in contrast to some other uses. They don't generate much traffic. And so in sum, we appeal to you to help this project move forward to the benefit of my client, to the benefit of the community out in the area, and to the benefit of the county in terms of generating tax revenue and complying with the commercial zoning that this commission adopted for this property. So I thank you for your attention. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Commissioners, questions,
Chairman.
please.
So I guess it would be in our packet at the back of Exhibit B. Where does this data come from?
I'm sorry?
Where does the traffic data come from?
The traffic data?
Yeah.
So Mr. Walker, there is the ITE standards, Institute of Transportation Engineers. They have standards based on the square footage of different kinds of commercial uses. So that table that he included in his report, that's based on a national publication, the ITE standards.
Is this the most recent edition from 2012?
You know, I don't know if he cited that. I can grab it, but I'm not sure. But he represents that that's the current information.
Sure. And then, so nobody's actually measured what the data, like the amount of traffic that's out there. So I guess that's to your point, right? So you'd have to go-
Exactly. That's why it takes time in order to do that analysis. You have to go out there, as you know, and do traffic counts and also look at the county plans and do projections for future traffic and so forth, which takes time.
So then your argument is based off of this document that this engineer approved?
In part, it's also,
Sure, no, I'm just talking about the number side of it. That's where you're getting your 61 or whatever it was.
yeah, 41 trips
41.
during the peak hour. That's from Mr. Walker.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners, any other questions? You did mention something about the Mexico Department of Transportation. As far as their standards to determine whether a traffic impact analysis is required.
Right.
Are you also saying that the county is bound by that? regulation also?
No, we're not saying the county's bound by that. The county, I reviewed the county code and we had discussions that there's not an adopted standard in the county. So what do? You look at other applicable standards that address the same issue. So that's why I bring
That's
it
your
up. But you're
position.
certainly not bound by that.
Right.
And again, really, this is a timing issue. If we're forced to do this traffic analysis, it's going to add a couple of months to a store that has to open its doors in June of this year. It won't happen. Dollar General will say, thank you very much. We're very busy in New Mexico. We're not going to build this. We're going to build other stores, and this deal will fail. This project will fail. So that's why we're here tonight.
Yeah, and I want to say that, I think myself, well, I know myself, I think the rest of the commission is very much in favor of economic development within our county. But there are some things in here that I've made notes on that are kind of concerning to me, or at least I think they warrant an answer from you. You've mentioned a couple times that timing, there's not enough time to get this done. However, the county received your land use application September 12th, and October 17th, there was a request that traffic impact analysis would be required. So this was, you or your client had this information as of October 17th. We're now first of the year in January. So there seems like there would have been ample time to have gotten this done within the time frame of the notices that you received or your client received.
Well, during that time, my client, I got a call around Thanksgiving time, but my client was engaged in discussions. I understand there was a Zoom meeting, there were multiple conversations, and my client was trying to explain the same things I'm explaining now, that there is no county standard, that this type of analysis is not warranted in this situation. So we can't turn back the clock, but I understand your point, Chair Size, that, had they dropped everything and done the analysis, perhaps it could have been done. But here we are today, and we're faced with this dilemma. And I know you didn't create the dilemma, and we're doing the best we can given the circumstances.
Okay. And then you also made reference to a Dollar General store at Del Cerro Loop and La Ladera Road.
That's right.
Now that one, that development was along a New Mexico DOT roadway. So they have their standards, but not necessarily does the county have to follow those standards, correct?
The county follows its standards, correct?
But the Dollar General that you referred to, the access to that was off a New Mexico DOT road. So they would have jurisdiction or require the traffic impact analysis off of that state road, correct?
Thank you, Chair Size. And I would point out that the county has land use jurisdiction. So while the access I understand was not off of a county road, it was off of a side street. The reason why a driveway permit was needed was that it was in the vicinity of the county road. So the access is not off of the state road. It's not off of the state road. And so the county had land use jurisdiction. It could have required, and what we look for is equal treatment for equal situations.
Sure.
In that case, the county could have required a traffic impact analysis for the traffic on the county street that serves where the driveway is located. The county didn't require a traffic impact analysis. It was the same size of a project, I believe. They were all pretty standard. And so we have a situation fairly recently when there was no traffic analysis required, and here is being required.
Alrighty. I'm just going to ask you, is it your position that the county lacks discretion to interpret its zoning ordinance to require a traffic impact analysis where despite the zoning ordinance states purpose to minimize traffic congestion, all streets, roads, and public ways within the county's jurisdiction to promote the public health, safety, and general welfare, and to facilitate the adequate provisions for transportation systems?
And Chair Size and members of the commission, I absolutely recognize the county's power and discretion. In this case, we've been presented with 3 different rationales within a 3-month period, none of which hold water. I won't go through, I won't belabor those points. You certainly have the power, and we're not going to litigate this. The issue is the project's going to be dead, and it's not going to be my decision, it's not going to be your decision or my client's decision. It'll be Dollar General's, and it'll probably happen tomorrow. So that's why we're here tonight, to try to save this project. My clients have bent over backwards to, they need to go after an administrative permit is issued to go to CID, get their CID building permit. They've already laid the groundwork at CID so they can start doing the grading work. They're trying, You know, we're trying to create a win-win situation. And honestly, if there was a traffic impact analysis done, what would it lead to?
I don't have an answer for you.
And we don't either because we haven't done it, but the traffic engineer looks at it and says, this is not warranted. You're not going to build an extra lane. You're not, you know, the traffic volumes out there, I was just out there a couple of hours ago, they're very low. I know it's a developing area, but it's served by the Manzano Expressway as a 2-lane road. Camino La Cañada is a 2-lane road. It's my expectation in discussing with the traffic engineer, even if we did an analysis, it would not result in any off-site traffic improvements required of this project. So from my perspective, I've been through this process many times. It would be it would be kind of a waste of time. And again, the ramification is it won't happen because the project will be dead.
Understand.
Mr. Chairman?
Please.
So then why didn't you just do it to, not you personally, but obviously your client, why didn't they just do it just to check that box and move on?
You know, when you hire a traffic engineer to do this type of analysis, it is a time-consuming, expensive process, and it should be warranted. And again, the traffic engineer weighed in. It's not warranted in this case. That's the height of arbitrary and capricious decision-making, saying, do it because we say so. If you want your project, you go do this. There should be reasons for that. And the reasons presented, why do you have 3 reasons? In the email yesterday, the reason of the school was just abandoned. And what I read, and I wasn't there, this is hearsay, but, and I'd like, you know, it would have been nice to have, there's reference to the county engineers. If we would have had an engineer talking to an engineer, that would have been great. I don't know who the county traffic engineer is or if they participated in this process. That would have been helpful because engineers, again, deal with facts. And we're dealing with, we want this, we want that, and we want the other thing. And the last word was, staff agrees that a full TIA does not make sense. That's what we said from the start. So
So if the project was worth your time being here, why didn't they just spend that, right? I see your viewpoint. But if we're just playing devil's advocate, why don't you just take care of the first time, then the other 2 issues are gone?
you know, again, was it warranted to start with? They thought that with some reason, and that's why I suggested right away, let's get our expert involved. And the expert weighed in. That was the first thing I said when they gave me a call. I said, because I'm no traffic engineer. I've dealt with them, but the traffic engineer did weigh in. And I wish he could have been here. He's up in Colorado, unfortunately, he couldn't make it. But it's simply not warranted in this case. That's our position.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions, commissioners?
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Benavides?
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. Just for clarification, as Melissa was up here reading the legal description, I overheard the intersection of Manzano Expressway and North Rio del Oro, which was actually part of the legal description. Does that make a difference? I guess I'm just, sorry. Yes, and looking through her documents as well, it was on the agenda, the legal description. That was what was actually posted for the zone change as well as this appeal. I just want to clarify that there's no,
corner of Manzano Expressway and North Rio del Oro Loop, that it also notes that and actually the sentence preceding that, it notes that the traffic impact study will be required for the development of Dollar General store located at the northeast corner of Manzano Expressway and Camino La Cañada. So the appropriate address was on there. So anyone who's interested was able to attend and listen. They also received individualized notice as required by the county zoning ordinance. And it was also published in the paper. So I believe that's sufficiently adequate. Thank you, Ms. Benavides.
thank you. Among the stated purposes of the county zoning ordinance is to minimize traffic congestions on all streets, roads, public ways within the county to promote the public health, safety, and general welfare, and to facilitate the adequate provisions of transportation systems. The county has consistently required traffic impact analysis to be completed when it is anticipated that there would be more than a minimal traffic impact from the development. The applicant did submit its site design review packet on September 12th, 2024. It was communicated to the applicant on October 17th, 2024, that the TIA would be required given it was anticipated that there would be more than a minimal traffic impact. The applicant argues that when it built the Dollar General on La Ladera in 263, a TIA was not required. First, the development was not governed by county standards, but rather by NMDOT. This development, by contrast, is governed by the county standards. Moreover, the NMDOT did require a turn lane analysis to be conducted as a condition on the La Ladera and 263 Dollar General. While the analysis ultimately reflected that a turn lane was not needed and that the applicant accordingly and would not be required to construct turn lanes, the study was nonetheless required and completed. The applicant has provided documentation from an engineering firm suggesting that the traffic analysis study should not be required based on the amount of traffic expected in a day. The department recognizes that while a traffic impact analysis may not be required by the NMDOT in light of the anticipated traffic for this development, this is not the standard, excuse me, this is not the standard that has been adopted and applied by Valencia County. Valencia County does require a traffic impact analysis when it is anticipated that there will be more than a minimal traffic impact on county roads for commercial development. As a correspondence provided by the applicant's engineering firm reflects that the development is anticipated to have more than minimal impact, the board should require the applicant a traffic impact analysis. As noted in the department's correspondence with the applicant, a traffic analysis is required when it is anticipated that a commercial development will produce more than a minimal traffic impact. The department identified to the applicant that there are 3 schools in the vicinity of the development, excuse me, and an increase in the development in the area. Manzano Expressway averages between North Rio del Oro and South Rio del Oro approximately 2,500 vehicles based on the Mr. Cog's 2023 traffic flow analysis. Camino de Llano Road, where this proposed development is to occur, lies between these roads off Manzano Expressway. During peak times, this area is already saddled with heavy congestion. Traffic is backed up from parents waiting to drop off or pick up their kids from the elementary school and residents trying to access Las Moravillas. Motorists have traveled around the traffic in the direction of the opposing traffic to access the subdivisions. We have kids that are walking home from school in the area. There's also a bike path on the south side of Camino de Llano, which introduces bike traffic into the equation. The department very much welcomes the development and believes the development will be an asset to the community. With that said, there is so much vehicular, pedestrian, and bike traffic already in this area that it must be considered as part of the traffic analysis, that it may be determined what, if any, infrastructure improvements are required to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the community. So that the board is clear, I have consistently required traffic impact analysis where it is anticipated that a commercial development will result in more than minimal traffic impacts along county roads. Based on this impact, development is anticipated to have already extensive vehicle, pedestrian, and bike traffic in the area of the development. A traffic impact analysis should be required. Should this board incline to require something less than the traffic impact analysis, the board should, at the minimum, require the developer to conduct a turn lane analysis to explore whether a turn lane is needed at that intersection to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. I stand for any questions.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, please. So you keep referencing, Ms. Benavides, what is a minimal impact? What is that in terms of numbers?
100 vehicles. I feel that with that area, with the development that's coming in, there may be more than 100 vehicles at the Dollar General.
Commissioners, any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I know it's not quite the same, but we always ask, when zone changes come up about, is traffic studies going to be required? in the past 10 or so of zone changes that we've done in commercial, how many have you required to do zone changes or traffic studies on the commercial?
Pretty much all of them. I think I did not require one, which was already Zone C1, and there was not any more traffic than what was already, since it was already zone commercial. So that one I did not, but I can bring up a couple of Settle Mission Boulevard with the food truck that was going in there. I did request one there. That is one that I know I've done in the last couple of years. I don't get very many off county roads. These are more DOT. So usually it's traffic, please contact DOT. But the ones that I have done are, I have requested TIAs.
Any questions? Please.
Add on. What is, maybe you can explain a little bit the difference between a traffic impact analysis and a turn lane analysis?
So the traffic analysis is more in depth. They would take into consider turning lanes at the entire intersection with all the traffic and everything. This one, we would look at just what the development would bring, and if it would require, at least those turning lanes to warrant into that development. It's a less expensive way of doing a TIA.
Is it more localized?
Yes.
Smaller? Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners? No? Okay. Thank you. I see your hand up. Yeah. We've given you your opportunity. Mr. Pedro, do we need to? Please go ahead and come on up.
Since thank you, Chair, members of the commission. Since Benavides brought up the NMDOT analysis relating to the other project on El Cerro Loop, I have a copy here of the NMDOT package, about 20 pages. They required a driveway access permit. There is no turn lane analysis that's part of this package. I'll leave it for you all if you'd like to look at it, but it troubles me when there's representations that aren't backed by the facts, and this package does not contain a turn lane analysis. In response to the one Commissioner Richardson's question, effectively a turn lane analysis, it would be a traffic impact analysis. You have to do the same things. You have to measure the traffic, you have to count the traffic, you have to look at projected traffic and do the same type of analysis. It's effectively the same thing. And finally, Ms. Benavides represented, based on no facts whatsoever, that this project would generate more than 100 trips per day during the peak hour. That's not what our traffic engineer said, and there's no facts to back up that opinion that's been stated. We need to act based on reason here. That's what arbitrary and capricious standard in the law is, and I did not hear that come out in the testimony that I just heard. Thank you.
Ms. Jaramillo, did you have anything else? Ms. Benavides, were you going to stand up? Did you have something you wanted to say?
In relation to his comment about the DOT turn lane analysis, Margaret Haynes actually sent me that report yesterday. So if you'd like a copy of it, I'd be more than happy to forward it to you.
Thank you. Okay, and I don't believe that we had anybody in the public that was going to speak on this public hearing. Is that correct, that was sworn in? Okay, at this time, we're going to go ahead and close our public hearing part of the meeting, and we will make a decision on this after our executive session here in a few minutes. Okay, action item 17, consideration and approval of a sponsorship letter supporting Valencia County's participation in the USDA NRCS Watershed and Flood Prevention Operation Program. Ms. Benavides.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. Public Work is seeking approval of sponsorship letter as required by the USDA and NRCS to support in regards to the study of the Belen Watershed and Flood Prevention Operations Program within Valencia County, south of Belen. Sponsorship in this study will give the county a voice in producing the final report and will have the impact of future drainage developments. I stand for any questions, and I do recommend approval.
Any questions of Ms. Benavides?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
Did we have done something at least similar to this in the past, correct?
That is correct. Okay, so when the Conservancy received the funds, they were the actual sponsor, we were co-sponsor, which would allow us to give a voice. Since they are not a flood authority or flood commission, they cannot participate in any funding, federal funding for construction. So therefore, now the county would take it on and be the sponsor for that.
And this is a question for legal. I know we're not quite there yet, but would this not be a better spot for the new flood control district board?
Just pitch that to the that's up to the board's discretion whether or not you'd like to postpone this. If I might turn that into questions. Would there be
They did ask that I put it in the first week or the first meeting. They really didn't give me a timeline, but I don't know.
If we're inclined, you could approve it with the condition that if this can wait until the new district is convened, able to take action on it, that it be put off to that district.
Right.
Because that would obviously be the preference. That district is charged with this responsibility, this would fall in their purview. So that way, if that approval is required today, and if we need to get that in today, then you can approve that today. But again, with the condition that if this can wait until that district is convened, that be done, and that we withhold that district.
That sounds good to me.
Chairman,
Please.
Dave, could we possibly just indicate that on the letter that once the flood authority is established, then they would become the responsible party? Even though we,
If they were willing to assume it.
If they're-
We can't force it, but if they're willing to accept.
and they're aware of what's going on. They know that we are in the process of getting this authority, but maybe that would be a good, I mean, I don't see them accepting that.
Good. With condition that if there is sufficient time. I don't know, it seems to that. We approve
Right.
so we don't.
I would be in favor of a letter in support. I don't know that the county wants to take on, I mean, you know, obtaining the needed land rights and using our power of eminent domain and whatnot for this, contributing to a share of the project costs. That's the whole point of forming a flood district. I agree we should support it in what we can, but I think this really should, I know they need a partner. But they're a long ways from even finishing design, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we're,
they don't have anything to do yet.
right, we're just in preliminary stages. We do have a commission meeting next week. I mean, I think what a week's delay won't, I mean, it won't do anything if we just tabled it till next week. And then I can reach out to them and just, you know, bring up
think
that
I would,
cons-
yeah,
bring that up and make sure that would be okay.
I'd feel better about that. Yeah.
Okay,
we
I'm
can
fine with
continue to
that.
Speak with them.
I think
through
we'll
the
be
week.
okay since commission meetings next week.
Commissioner Bazell?
This is for Dave. If, with us saying that we are one of the part, if we approve that, we wanted to stay away from the flood control for liability. So if we sit there and approve it, are we not opening ourselves up to the county for liability because we are?
Potentially, I mean, I think this was our thought process in moving forward with, you know, the establishment of flood district. They were one we could work with. it'd be better to have the flood district take on this responsibility and agreement responsible for. not have the county. I like the suggestion of waiting a week, filling it, allowing Benavides an opportunity to determine what the deadline is for acceptance. And moving that forward, and if we have sufficient time for the court to establish the district and for mention that's going to be done within the next month. And I think it might be a little bit longer before they're able to have their first meeting, their presentational meeting. It'd be worthwhile putting that off a week and asking Ms. Benavides as to whether that could be taken up.
Do we need a motion to that effect?
Yeah. Before that,
I'd like to-
any other questions, Commissioners? Please.
I'd like to make a motion to table item 17 until the next meeting. And let Ms. Benavides discuss it with NRCS.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, this will remain tabled till the next meeting. Okay, we're at the appointed agenda for executive session. Mr. Pena, would you please announce that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, pursuant to section 1015(1)H, following matters may be discussed in closed session under administrative adjudicatory proceedings. Under 1015(1)H3, we have the traffic impact study appeal. And that's the only item we have on the agenda for executive session, sir.
Okay, motion to that effect, please.
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. We will report out shortly. Thank you.